Welcome to Greenshine Farmers video blog about a family starting a farm and going back to the homestead lifestyle. Episode 20, Surviving the Winter. Before we begin this episode, I'd like to apologize to everyone who has been following us and who's new and signed up. Thank you so much. I will be responding shortly to all of your comments. We have gone through a lot in the last couple of months with like family trips and everything and finishing up the season and things going crazy at the farm. I wanted to apologize and tell you the number one reason why we haven't put up any videos, and that is because I've been having computer issues. We actually had to take it in and get it fixed. It just got bogged down. Programs were saving in secret program spots that needed to be erased that I couldn't reach, and things were going on, so it took us a while to figure out. I tried to fix it on my own, which is probably the first mistake, and then we finally decided to take it in, and now it's working, and so we can start putting videos out again, and we're super excited. This video also is going to talk a lot about what we did to prepare for the winter and what actually happened during the winter. So it'll be an interesting contrast. There's video footage from back in October, November, and then there's video footage recently to explain what actually happened. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. At the very end is going to be kind of like a family montage. So if you're not part of the family and you don't want to see pictures of our little one, you can stop watching at that point. But if not, thank you and enjoy.
Hey guys. Welcome to Greenshine Farmers. Today we're going to talk about what we're doing to prepare for winter on the homestead. So the first and most pressing issue was the fact that our house doesn't have any insulation. So even though we could start a fire, once that fire goes out, the house gets really, really cold. So the number one thing we did to address that was we actually purchased this tow-behind travel trailer. Alright, so here we are inside the trailer. It's a 29-foot Jayco J-Flight, and we're just really happy with it. So we've got Odin's room over here, we've got his crib. There was another recliner. We just put that in the house, and you know, he's got his books, his pajamas, his stuffed animals, and he's been sleeping a lot better since we've moved into the trailer. So that's really helped us out a lot. Here's Rio's bed, which is just basically the couch. It's got a kitchen, which we don't really use because we have the kitchen inside, but if we wanted to, you know, we could get running water and stove, microwave, refrigerator, like a little office area slash, you know, changing table. Came with a TV and a DVD player, which is nice, I guess. It's got a bathroom, toilet, but again, we have the compost toilet, so we haven't hooked this up. Little shower area, which again, we've got the shower inside. We don't need this, but we are utilizing it for all of our meads and ciders. So we've got about, what, 8 different batches plus a bucket batch. Then this is the master bedroom, which is nice. We've got little reading lights and our mattress fit in here, which is really cool. And the best part is it's got a door that we can slide and actually, you know, make it like our own little room. So, pretty cool. Oh, and a door to go out this way, so we don't have to wake Odin up if we need to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So our trusty old compost toilet just didn't do too well in the winter. There's basically just cocoa coir down there, and you know, after you do your business, you just turn the crank handle and it mixes it all and kind of helps with the smell and breaking it down and all. But in the winter, when it gets below freezing, that stuff just freezes up. I mean, it's just a solid brick and you're not turning anything. So this is really, we haven't really been using it, but you know, like I said, luckily we have the toilet in the trailer, so we haven't really missed it too much. So I'm standing in the spot of our former washing station, which was basically just a carport, the tent canvas over it. And what happened was we got some really strong winds that came through here and just snapped it in half, basically, and then flipped it over. So we came out to do our packing that day and saw our whole station was destroyed. The coolers were knocked over. Everything was a wreck. Fortunately, nothing was broken except the tent. So our plan right now is to get a nice steel framed carport where it's actually enclosed with a floor So the other thing we've been busy with is getting this field ready for a cover crop. We got it in probably the last week that we could have gotten it in, because then we got some pretty hard frost. But here we've got winter wheat and jumbo rye. The winter wheat is going to go down and kind of break up the soil and give us a lot of good organic matter. The jumbo rye will scavenge nitrogen and other nutrients. And then we tried to put down some peas, which would have helped accumulate some nitrogen, but the peas didn't take. So right now we've just got winter wheat and jumbo rye. It's probably too late to do another crop. So for something like this row up here where the lettuce was, we'll probably just crop this out and do our usual method of broad fork, adding fertilizer and compost, and then we'll just cover it with like 3 to 4 inches of straw. And that way when spring comes, we'll just peel that straw back and we've got a nice, clean, fertile bed ready to go. Alright, so here we are in the greenhouse. Now if you remember, we had landscape fabric down on this side as well, and we had a bunch of tomatoes down the center. So we took all that stuff out and we re-tilled it and worked in a lot of compost and fertilizer and just planted this out with mostly lettuce. We've got our head lettuce here, we've got a little bit of chard, and then it just goes to red oak at the end. And then here's a mixture of red oak and arugula. And I just cut this row last week, and we're in December now, and it's just ridiculous how fast things grow in the greenhouse, even when it's winter. You know, in probably another week or so, I'll be able to come through and do another cutting. So a huge difference between you know, the crops that are in here, where it's actually like 80, 85 degrees during the day, and the crops that are in the field. In terms of growth, I mean, it's just night and day. Alright, so we're here in the greenhouse. This year we tried to save some money by doing low tunnels out in the field and just kind of utilize this one greenhouse. And the low tunnels were just a total disaster. With the winds we get here, even though we clamped them down with these snap clamps and had bags of rocks and they were pretty well secured, once the wind just gets a little bit of a corner, it just rips the whole thing off. So we went to California, came back, and our low tunnels were destroyed and everything under them had totally died. I mean, we got down to -3, which is pretty unusual for this area, but you know, it's just kind of how it goes. As for this greenhouse though, everything in here was still doing pretty well. So I think it just holds its heat better, and since you have strapping going over top, you know, the winds don't really bother it. So we got maybe 4 cuts off of the crops in here, which is pretty good. Our last cut was in January, and then it was just kind of like, you know, that was about all we were going to get. So I think next year we'll just invest in more of these caterpillar tunnels and maybe leave the low tunnels for something else. All right, so the biggest thing that probably kicked our butts this winter that we underestimated was just how cold it can get. You know, we're a bit further north from Asheville, and we're in the mountains, so it gets chilly out here at night. And we had a cold spell where we got pretty much, when we came back, you know, to start the new year, it was pretty much cold, you know, below freezing for almost 2 weeks. And so we really got to see the faults in our system. So as you know, we've got our 2 big water totes with our sterilized water, and then we kind of just have piping running to a high pressure pump to this hot water heater, and then so on down the house. So we came back, all of our pipes under the house had burst, so I had to go under there and just kind of, you know, cut the sections that had burst, replace it, and I thought if we leave a slow drip running that it'll keep everything moving through the lines and it won't freeze up. That's not the case. There's no insulation under the house. It's not even fully enclosed, so it gets really cold under there. So our solution for that was basically just to put some of these valves here, so we can actually cut off the water to under the house, and I have drainage valves so we can open that up, completely clear the lines, and basically we were just running hot water to the trailer. So we've been showering, using the toilet, using the sink, so pretty much we're just in the trailer 100% of the time right now. Another thing that we've done is we've got some of these tank heaters that are submergible, and you just plug it in and it heats up these coils, and that'll keep our totes from freezing. Even though this is about 300 gallons of water, it freezes up, and then you just basically have ginormous ice cubes. So if we keep that in there, that'll keep that from happening. I also have some heat mats underneath our pump, And it's basically just, you know, like seedling, you know, peat mats that you would use for germination. I don't really like them for that. I don't think they work very well. I haven't had much success, but they do a great job of keeping this pump warm. So, you know, if we can just keep these lines from freezing up, basically once it goes through the hot water heater, it's coming out at 122 degrees, and then our plan is just to bury this hose, so, you know, kind of below the frost line, and wrap it where it's not buried, and that should keep all this from freezing up. You know, we had maybe 2 or 3 weeks without water, and that was rough. We had to, you know, thankfully we have a lot of friendly neighbors that kind of took us in and allowed us to shower and wash our dishes at their places, but you know, January was definitely a hard month because of that. So our next folly was not clearing this line before we left. I actually had a purge valve just kind of like this, just a basic spigot, that so I could turn and clear all this water out, and I just forgot to empty it. So again, we come back and this thing was just absolute toast. It had just cracked in a bunch of different spots, and these are almost 10 bucks. It's almost $1 a foot, so it was kind of, you know, spent about $100 repairing this, and just absolute stupid mistake. But so just to summarize, some of the things we did good this year was probably, well, for one, getting the trailer and foreseeing that, you know, because I don't think people understand, but that when we say the house has no insulation, I mean, it's actually colder in there than it is outside. So if you walk in there like during the day, it just doesn't get much sun. It just doesn't have any way to hold whatever heat it does have. So that's one thing, is getting the trailer was huge. The second thing that we did well was we actually had crops until January. We actually had crops, you know, up until then, and I think if we would have had more caterpillar tunnels, we still have crops right now. So you know, live and learn, but it was good that we at least had product through December, and it was still really high quality. The third thing was just kind of foreseeing that we weren't going to have as much coming off the farm. So before we left for California, I was actually able to land a job in town just doing some painting work at a school. So just having a little bit of cash coming in is so crucial, because you never just want to have it where you've got expenses and you have no cash coming in. That's just a good way to run up the debt really quick. Things we really could have done better was, well, I think we just underestimated how cold it can get here. I mean, it was kind of like, you know, they say you get one of these winters every 10 years, and it just kind of was our first winter here, and we underestimated. You know, we thought, oh, we moved, you know, south, it won't get that bad, but it, you know, we just underestimated how cold it can get, and so our water situation and just everything else, I think that all caught us by surprise. But overall, you know, I think we had a pretty good first year. We solidified. We have about 7 really solid accounts, and you know, our customers love us. So we just want to keep putting great product out there, and just crank on into 2018. So thank you for all of our new subscribers. We really feel bad for not having a video out since September, but you know, just for the reasons previously mentioned, you know, we do apologize, and we're going to try to be a lot more consistent this year going forward. So it should be an exciting year, and hope you guys tune in regularly to see the progress of the farm.
Thank you for watching Greenshine Farmers. Other things that we've missed, having not put a video out in so long, are the following. Odin's first birthday, we had a little barbecue and some friends over. It was pretty awesome. We went to a bunch of weddings, Rand's sisters, my friend Carolyn's, a cousin, and another friend. The grandparents treated us to a trip to Disney World, and while we were in Florida, we went to Gatorland. In the fall, we did Halloween, and he was a little punk. It snowed a bunch in November, but then we went to California for Christmas. And he got to hang out with his cousin. And yeah, and we celebrated Christmas.
If you guys like this video and you'd like to see more like it, leave us a comment down below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, visit us at greenshinefarms.com and follow us on Instagram at Greenshine Farms. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.